have a ton of paperwork and grievances, but I'm going through them because being homeless, I obviously cannot carry over all this paperwork, and plus I'm deprived of law enforcement. But I want you to see what I reported to the grievance committee, and it's kind of hard for me looking through these devices. Multiple conspirators in cover-up informed Stevenson, the guard, that medical law library reentry program are not responding to my request. Stevenson, I believe, lied to me about addresses that I requested. Guards have not wanted me to have the address to my attorney. I think corrupt higher-ups are enlisting guards and inmates, like in Hillsborough and jail staff, to the sheriff came to investigate staff and their abuse. It's kind of hard to read through this device, but I want you to see what I'm reading. Jail staff, the sheriff came to investigate staff and their abuse, cover at multiple different locations, scheme to tamper with evidence, and hide the conspiracy to violate rights as a crime. Not sure why that is not acknowledged in the grievances and in the harassment. Why would you not take in the evidence and review the camera footage or network with other jails to investigate the crimes? Isn't that a crime to do so? And I told them about how they were playing games to sabotage my ability to mail letters. They would lie and call codes and different things because I'm asking for letters, my paper and envelopes. So I wrote that to the grievance committee, and this is their response. Ms. Clark, you do not have an attorney listed on our system. I was arrested October 27th, 2022. They put the wrong date. That was right. I'm sorry. So anyway, at 12/5/2022, and I was arrested October 27th. I don't have an attorney for a criminal case. They claimed I didn't have one because they were so crooked. A judge or an attorney in jail with time served on false charges in maximum security. They were terrorizing me in jail, and a lot of things that they do are not realistic. So he states that the things that you have expressed do not meet the criteria for a grievance. You may submit a request for services to receive. I have told they deprive me of recreation, which is a crime, put me in isolation, and that doesn't meet the criteria for a grievance. These are crimes. To deprive someone of recreation is a crime. It's considered cruel and unusual punishment. And law library, regular library, and the grievance committee will not take it. I know that you have to see these things to believe it, how extreme this corruption is. So they were getting caught in cons, so they didn't want to have their name on it because this is a crime. So they put intake so you wouldn't see who was committing this crime with no name. So they're so crooked, they denied medical treatment. So they never they said they never did an investigation to my knowledge. I reported things over and over, and they keep lying and say they don't constitute as a grievance. Violation of civil rights, criminal act. If I'm telling you that I don't have an attorney and I'm in jail on false charges, how is that not a criminal act that I've been set up? Denied privileges. If I don't have law library and I can't get medical, what is that? So prohibited act by having, so then instead to gaslight and mistreat me, they're lying and said I've had multiple verbal altercations and disagreements with cells, inmates, and staff. So since they're committing a crime, like a multitude of others, they gaslight me and then tell me it's my fault. And me and the inmates were laughing, and it infuriated someone. The ones that weren't set up, we were laughing and cracking up. So someone got mad and had them put me in isolation. So we couldn't laugh and crack up. I had them cracking up. Even the ones that were supposed to be, the ones, because they're gang stalkers in jail too. So even the ones that were hired as gang stalkers were laughing. So this is what I had to endure. So I'm sorry, look at all this paperwork. But what's the point? They're not investigating any of this. So this is what I put. Guard Bell was emotionally abusive. Said name was Harleen. Lied about her name. Cut me off when I was getting clarity. An inmate told me her name was Bell. Then guards are told to be sadistic and abusive. And it's on camera footage. They, instead of them doing anything about the abuse that I had to endure from the guards, they gaslight and blame me for it. But it's been on camera footage. They've called codes. So I asked to speak with someone about to report the abuse I've had to endure and my daughter's abuse. Someone with CPS or the FBI. They sent MHMR. And I'm reporting bullying and abuse that's on camera footage, and they gaslight and blame me and say I was having altercations. I told they don't know why I was in isolation. Then they con that I was in isolation because I was mentally ill. Let me show you. Okay, I can't find the paperwork, but I wasn't allowed to go to court multiple different times. I've never went to court when I was in jail on these false charges for reporting my daughter's abuse at CPS. I'll put the video in the feed. So I asked them what happened at my court date because they weren't allowing me to go. So the con was you were discharged for the competency restoration program. I was mentally ill. That was the con. So I didn't go to court because they discharged me for being mentally ill. So that's why I was in maximum security. That was a con that they had said. Someone had told them that that doesn't make sense. So this is what they said. At this time, they know I'm trying to incriminate them. Okay, so I said, why am I in jail in maximum security and still in jail? 2 questions. So she put no more space for women. You should have something from court 2723. I didn't go to court. And that was Corporal Paramore. That's who told me that. So you have put me in maximum security, handcuffing me to go to shower, there's rocks and dental floss and all kinds of strange things in my food, including gnats and bugs. And I'm in maximum security and during this abuse can't go to recreation, the grievance committee covering for it. And you're telling me because there's no space in the regular cells? That was their con. There was no space. Because they were with the con with the restoration program. Now, I reported abuse. And I wanted to know why I was being sabotaged all these programs. Are there any more programs for housing and women fleeing abuse? And I told him about the false arrest. I told him in grievances, they ignored it. And then the kite, because they have to have certain procedures. And now he has to say abuse made at home, not in jail. I'm reporting abuse in jail. You're looking at it. Abuse made at home, not in jail. And then they're telling me to submit a request for the female reentry program. I did. They would not let me do it. Let me show you. There's a lot of paperwork I don't want to go through. You just have to take my word for it. I'm throwing it all in the trash, and I don't want to go through the paperwork, but they deprived me of the right for the reentry program. And I applied for it November 17th, and they never gave it to me because someone's paid, so I don't have housing. People are paid to make sure that I'm enforced on the streets like they've been doing 5 years. If they allow me to have housing, it is controlled and abusive. I spoke to Corporal Hernandez, and I told him about the programs that they were denying right here. Spoke to Corporal Hernandez, told he was not possible to report crimes corrupt government officials were committing, especially in this jail. Hernandez walked off while I was talking, not sure if he would report the government conspiring with my family's abuse, and including my children. Shortly after telling Hernandez, my bunkie, to leave, they told my bunkie to leave in another grievance. They told me to pack up. Okay, what happened was they tried to scheme that I'm being emotionally abusive. Okay, and they have me in cells with counterfeits. Okay, so they'll try to scheme with the counterfeit, but I know what they're doing. So they told my bunkie to leave and pack up. But I know they're cons, so I said, did you ask the move? She said, no, I don't know what's going on. They were going to scam with her that I was being emotionally abusive. And then that she was supposed to say that I was doing something. But they had already did it with a previous bunkie, Miriam. Someone gave her a note up under the door, and I told the grievance committee about it, and she slandered me. Okay? So shortly after I talked to Hernandez, they told my bunkie to pack up everything. But I know they're con, so I said she didn't ask the move what's going on. So they interrupted the con because they were trying to set me up. So then when that I interrupted the con, they told me to pack up. And then they told me anyway, because I had already incriminated them. So they told me to go ahead and pack up and took me to the place where isolation, where people go that were fighting. Okay. But in their con, they also pretended like mentally ill people were there because I had to be mentally ill. So in their con, they pretended like mentally ill people were punished for being mentally ill. So they had counterfeit inmates. But I was in isolation, but I still had people cracking up in the other cells, even though we were in isolation. They got so infuriated about that, they put me in isolation to where there's this big, huge door and you can't see or anything, even in the isolation. In the isolation, you can yell and talk to other inmates. They were so crooked, they didn't even want me doing that. So they put me in isolation to where I couldn't talk to anyone, period. And then they did all these petty scams and everything with the food. So the grievance committee has evidence that they're trying to set me up with this inmate, but won't take it. So they have put me in isolation for reporting crimes. So then I'm telling them about the false charges. They have the air up sky high in the winter. It's snow days. They had the air up. I'm telling them that. And then I told them the pattern about I know that you got to see it to believe it. I'm anemic and very, very cold natured. So I told them that the air was up on sky high. And they got caught in it. Because the inmate said when they took me to this location, why you guys cut the air on? The heat has been on. She didn't know. And then the guard looked mad, like she was messing up something, but she saw me looking at her. And the inmate wasn't catching it that she wasn't supposed to talk about the heat. She said, it's too cold in here. Cut the heat back on. And then she said, we did it because it's hot outside. And the other inmates, they weren't aware, but they enlist these inmates for these crimes. They said, it's not hot outside. Someone told me how it was outside. Cut the heat back on. Because they were suffering too. But they didn't realize that this was a part of my abuse. The day I came in, they cut the heat off and cut the air on. Knowing full blown well, no one would believe my story. You're looking at it right here. And pattern, you're looking at it. So the whole time I was in jail, in each tank I was in, they would force that tank there to have all these inmates suffer and have the air on. That's how petty they are. This is what the grievance committee said in response to that, being placed in isolation in malice. You have the issues that you have not expressed do not meet the criteria for a grievance. I have told you that out of malice, I have been placed in isolation and have done nothing wrong. And all the multiple things to the grievance committee, and you repetitively keep covering for it. Me getting tortured at this jail. In jail with time served. I knew that someone had some major issues. That is kidnapping. You can't leave anyone in jail with time served. Then for their con to enforce that I stay in jail, so abuse is set up and I'm blacklisted. The con was I was mentally ill. And then they hid the judge and attorney to not incriminate anyone. Because I'm supposed to be out of jail, but they will not let me out with time served. They're so crooked. So to cover for all that, you see this abuse made at home, not in jail. Delgado. I repetitively keep reporting crimes over and over, and every party I come in contact with covers for it. Okay, so all these things. I don't want to go through the grievance for the food, but I sent a grievance and I sent the dental floss. I put them in the grievance envelopes. I sent the dental. See, the thing with the dental floss, I was picking my teeth in the cell by myself. So my abuser wants me to know that everything that I'm looking at, that I'm being monitored. He plays these mind games. So I was picking at my teeth, and the next day there was dental floss in my food. This is how he can torture me, and then you guys never know that he was nowhere to be found in the experience. So he wanted me to know that I was being watched and had dental floss in my food. So then I took the dental floss out. I mailed it to the grievance committee. There was a rock in my food. I ate. I was eating the food and bit down, and I have a crack in my teeth right now. So they have someone calling me to interrupt. Let's see I don't get my calls. Hello?
May I speak to Kiana Clark?
Yes, ma'am. Who is this?
This is Victoria with SMI One Dispute Department.
Okay.
I am giving a return call. I do want to let you know that the call is...
She's muted. These are con artists. They're controlled. When I'm saying something incriminating, I get these calls.
Security, can you verify the last 4 digits of the social? 45.
You're talking really low, ma'am, for a pattern of 5 years. Can you talk louder?
So I was giving you a return call in regards to a claim that was submitted for 2 transactions. One was
Yeah, I heard that. Okay. Thank you. Now what's going on with that?
I was calling to get more information so that I can go ahead and process out the claim for the transaction.
Yeah, this is like cons, ma'am, because they did that with the attorney child support ombudsman. And I was calling to report crimes with the attorney general, and she called me and said that interrupted me at work, interrupted me doing something. I keep getting interruptions. She interrupted me to say that I'm going to refer it over to an attorney. And I was at work and it was a major distraction. She took all this information and then said, I'm going to forward it over to someone else. But for years, for the life of me, I don't understand why these calls are so unusual. I never got the call. We went through this long, drawn out spiel for me reporting crimes the Attorney General was committing. She said, why would you call me? She said she was with a buzzman. She called me to tell me someone else was going to call me. Why would you have me on the phone 15 minutes interrupting me to tell me somebody else was going to call me back? That never did. So now you have called because you don't have enough information in the dispute when I was trying to expose criminal activity. This con is you don't have enough information. But before my abuser got involved, you didn't have to go through years of people not understanding crimes are being committed over and over. And they have to need more information to do nothing. So what more information do you need, ma'am?
Okay. So it says here it's for the 2 transactions here, and you're not in possession of the card, or are you in possession of the card?
Ma'am, you're not making sense, because if someone has overcharged me at a location, what does it have to do with them overcharging me at the location? It was supposed to be a reversal that you guys won't put on there. So if it's a reversal from someone, I'm not saying, are you trying to scam to disable my card like they've done in the past to keep me in abuse?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay, because they have scammed and disabled my card to make me be in a crisis. If someone has not done the reversal, I don't know why that's not hard to understand. Well, why it's so hard to understand. Days in told me they put the funds back on the card and you guys won't put it on there. That is simple. Days in, put 160. And then you're asking me if I'm in possession of the card like you're a distraction. What's your name?
My name is Victoria.
Okay, and your position, what position or your extension?
I'm a dispute specialist.
Your extension?
We don't have extension.
You don't have extension, so what can you do, ma'am? My tablet is about to go dead, and then people start committing crimes, they immediately know.
And for the smart travel media for the 8782, what was the issue with that transaction?
I've already went over this. I thought the calls were recorded, ma'am, for you to go back over and have good customer service. They would not let me stay at the hotel room. They were corrupt. And Days Sheridan is also conning me out of funds. It was supposed to be $488, but they have 2 transactions. These people are saying that they are putting the funds back on there, but you guys won't let them. So they're making it seem like you're committing the crimes, not them. Because something's wrong with my SMI One transaction, because it's hiding the fact that I'm paying a light bill for a location I don't live. And you guys have been con artists. That I was told that funds weren't being placed on the account, and it was. I was told by con artists that they never got $5,800, and it was a blatant lie, and they did. That's a lot of money for someone to be conning me out of. You there?
I'm still here.
Okay, ma'am, I'm trying to hurry up before this recording ends. So what are you going to do, ma'am? I'm in a press for time.
Okay, I'm trying to file the dispute claim here, and unfortunately, I do apologize. There wasn't a lot of information.
I just gave you the information, ma'am. I don't understand how much more you need. It's like you're waiting for this recording to stop to enforce more crimes like I've had to endure years.
Okay, Ms. Clark, you are giving me 2 different things here. I'm asking about the smart travel. You said that. I
did. I said that I didn't stay there, so we can dispute the whole thing. I never stayed there. I don't know why that's so hard for 5 years.
And I asked if they processed a refund.
No.
The refund process.
No.
They told you that a refund.
No, they didn't. I'm pressed for time, ma'am.
For the days in, okay, and for the days in, they told you that they processed the refund, but it's not going through on our end.
Right.
Okay, and when was that refund processed?
I told the person the same day they did it. What day do you see they did it? That said that they did the payment?
On the 16th.
Okay, the same day that they put the reversal in. I'm pressed for time, ma'am. I'm pressed for time, ma'am.
They did. Okay, and I understand that, ma'am, but I have to get the questions that I need in order to...
Okay, I don't understand what else you would need with good customer service. Before I got the stalker, it wasn't so incredibly hard to not get anything resolved. It's like these things are distractions. If my abuser can control people that he shouldn't be controlling, that's my experience. So if none of the charges, I'm telling you I'm pressed for time. What else would you need, ma'am? Now they're knocking at the door. Can I help you?
I'm trying
Is checkout time at 11:23? What time do you check out? Okay, I have so much going on, ma'am. So, ma'am, what else do you need, ma'am?
So I did see that they did process of one reversal of 192.
That's not the right one, ma'am. You're still holding me up. I said the 161.
Can you just verify your email address for me, and then I'll just process out the dispute, and I'll send you the email.
Housekeeping? Yes, how can I help you, housekeeping? I can't hear you. Hold on. My email? What? You don't want me to know what you're saying, housekeeping? Can you come back, housekeeping? I'm on the call. Can you come back? I have so many distractions for years, housekeeping. Like it's planned. Can you just come back? Okay, ma'am, the email address is...
The email will have the dispute information. It will also have your claim or confirmation number, which can be used to check the status or update of the dispute. You may also send over any information.
Okay, ma'am, the dispute claim, because you guys have covered for me getting charged multiple times in the past, like you guys were the ones committing the crime and deprived me of reimbursement when I was charged 2 times in 1 month for services I couldn't get with AT&T. You covered for it. So if you guys keep on breaking the law and there's no consequences, I'm not quite sure what to do because I can't stop it. Well, I haven't been able to stop it for a long time. So we'll see what happens with the dispute claim, but you guys have a history of covering for crimes and you have defrauded me out of thousands of dollars. So, okay, ma'am, we'll see what goes on, what happens. Thank you.
No problem, ma'am. Is there anything else I can help you with?
That'll be it. Thank you, ma'am. No extension in the con, no nothing. I've had to endure this years. They would come at 11:01 and then pretend like it wasn't planned. Okay. So they're so crooked, I didn't even know if I had to charge because I couldn't go to court. So I'm asking them what's in the system about my charge. A Casilla claims that she can't see in the system the criminal trespass charge was dismissed or not. So they wanted me released from jail, not even knowing if I had to charge. How sadistic and sick is that I can't go to court and I'm being released and I don't even know if they gave me the charge or not because I couldn't appear at court. This is it right here. If the charge was dismissed. When he's especially mad, they deny me extend my stay. You've seen that on the video, some of the schemes. And then I'm stating that they didn't give me not one update on all the grievances. They do investigations and they didn't give me an update on any of the investigations. You see all the paperwork right here. Look at all this. This is how I was getting tortured in jail. And I went through it all, trying to find the grievances for the food. Look at all that. That I can't get anyone to investigate this level of torture I had to endure years. On the phone trying to expose criminals, and then there's knocks at the door for 5 years, interrupting things. I'm trying to flee a domestic violence crisis, and I haven't been able to, so I just wanted to extend my stay. Housekeeping came by.
Yeah, because it's checkout times, they will knock all the doors.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to come right now if you want to extend.
Come right now? I'm exposing, so I'm in a domestic violence crisis. It has to be right now, interrupting the crisis I'm in right now. It has to be right now, interrupting. Right now. Like for 5 years?
I can't hear your voice. What do you say?
It has to be right now, like for 5 years. Okay. I have to come right now, interrupting what I'm doing.
Yeah, but it's a checkout time.
Right, but I just want to extend my stay. Sometimes they can look at the credit card on file.
We will not start manually. If you want to extend, you must have to come down. And
it has to be right now, immediately right now, in the middle of my crisis.
That's what I'm trying to telling you. If you want to extend, just come in a little bit.
Okay, come right now, immediately. Okay, if that's what you require. Okay, thank you. Then if he's angry enough, they'll try to ask for cash, like the card doesn't work again in these scams to keep me, to punish me. So let's go see what they have here. But keep in mind, in the past, they were so crooked, they were harassing me before checkout, like at Red Roof and a multitude of other locations. So they start on the 3rd floor, the floor that I'm on for conflict. I didn't like those other shoes, so I just got some more better shoes at Walmart. He told me to come right down immediately and missing. You know where he went, man? Oh, hello, how are you? I would not mind doing the weekly raid, but they put dirty sheets on my bed. Dirty sheets? Really dirty sheets. I'm sorry? You never do that? Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and pay for one night for right now. You never do that. Card. A lot of distractions right here. Oh, that's maintenance. Yeah, he told me about your special system. Hold on. Okay, and housekeeping, they'll come to take the dirty sheets off the bed? Okay, good. Okay. I'm sorry, they come every day, right? Or does it change? Every other day? Okay, fine. Yeah, if I can, I want the dirty sheets off the bed. If I can get the dirty sheets off the bed today? Yes. Okay. Okay, and they had a clean coffee maker in there, and then someone removed the clean coffee maker and gave me a dirty one because I love coffee. Yeah, if it's okay, I just want a clean coffee maker. Okay, I had a clean one, but they replaced it with another one. It was odd. The maintenance man gave me a clean one, and they put a dirtier one in there. Yes, that's it. Because I'm trying to expose criminal activity, I have to endure it, so they don't have to do. I'm sorry. Just whenever they can. I don't think that I'm going anywhere. I try to relax and not get tortured. I'm sorry. I have to give you the exact time right now. You have to have a time.
When they will come to your floor, they will give you the room service. They will knock your door.
Okay, when they have to choose. Okay. They don't. They just can't do it when they do everyone else's room service. Okay, however you want to do it. All these people are leaving and not having escorts now. Are you escorting me up here?
Hey, boss.
Are you escorting me up here? I just have strange things going on. So, there's people that they're not getting guarded and not forced to leave the hotel. I told him I was in a crisis and he forced me, but I've had to endure this years. They have came at the checkout was 11. They came at 11:01, and sometimes before checkout would come. So I'm staying in this hotel that is scamming for heat to deprive me of heat. Look at the tub. They cleaned it. This is why I can't be OCD. It was not this bad. And they put soap right here. That's the soap from yesterday. He hides soap even in jail. So I had to use the soap from yesterday because they forgot to put the soap down for 5 years. So what they would do, because I didn't have commissary, inmates wanted to buy my soap, which was odd. But he was trying to scheme so I wouldn't have soap and then use, it's just weird. And then they deprived me of showers to the max. I had to take a shower, use the sink, because they would not let me shower in the maximum security. I told the grievance committee all this chaos and they did nothing. Anyway, I just don't know how many patterns equal arrest. These interruptions are not on accident. They're on purpose. This is what I had to endure. Hotel staff, like in Tyler, I pulled out the facts, knowing full-blown well, no one believed my story, kept calling me, harassing me. I told them I was in a domestic violence crisis, forced me to communication before checkout. I said I want to extend my stay. You have to leave right now. Right now, because I said it's not checkout. He said, well, you have to leave because I pulled out a fax because stores would con, so I couldn't fax incriminating things for to put the government incriminate them. So they stores would copy what I'm faxing and then not fax it, say that it was an error. So then I bought a fax. I bought one and went to a hotel room. Time I pulled it out, they started calling. That's how I know they're watching me. Have voyeurism things in jail and at hotel stays. They hold me up at the hotel stays and allow these people to set up cameras, but they're criminals. I don't want them watching me like this. So then I pulled out the fax, and then he kept calling. So I just hooked the fax and started going on my journey with my fax. The police came. I have already told him I want to extend my stay. They are conning that I had to go out that hotel room immediately then and get into another one. I said, it's not checkout. Then the police came later. And then I wanted to do a police report, but the police department was behind it, and I didn't know. I thought he was just calling these locations, having these locations and bribing them. But no, the police are behind it. So that's why the police came. They didn't want me interrupting, doing these faxes. I also showed the police where I did all this paperwork, and I've done this at computers for years. So I do all this paperwork and fill out all these applications, and then it held up. I was doing something, exposing crimes to the child support division regarding my daughter. So when I did that, the computer held up when I was trying to submit it. But this started happening after my experience at a multitude of locations trying to flee on their computer and report abuse. So then I recorded it, how it hung up, and I said a multitude of locations do this. They did it at City Square at the Texas Workforce. And I tried to report it, and she said, I can't report those crimes. I said, you're putting your other customers, people that come here, at risk. You have social security numbers in your system, and I'm telling you that someone's breaking into these computers, sabotaging my ability to escape and report different things on computers. It happened at Austin Street. I did a report to the FBI. I was on their page. They panicked and banned me from the computers at Austin Street Shelter for just looking at the FBI page, just looking at it, scrolling through it. They first thought they're not supposed to know what I'm looking at. And why would you feel law enforcement is a threat to you if you're not torturing me like they were at their shelter? They banned me from all computer usage for looking at the FBI page. That's why I knew we were in jeopardy. If these people that are not mentally stable or to have all this much power that they are abusing. So back to days in, I showed him that the computer was there. They have to force clean. Okay, ma'am, if you have to clean up now, whenever you want to clean, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead. They clean when they want to interrupt. Okay, ma'am. I remember you, sir, earlier. You're coming to clean with her?
Yes.
Okay. You don't want to come in?